Day one, 32 teams still in the tournament. Right now we'll find out who is heading to the losers bracket. AR up 2-0 in the best of 5, trying to send Isolation Empire down there. And so far, it's looking like that might just happen.
Doing a good job of it thus far. ISO showing little glimpses of success, but they just start to spread out. They lose composure. They just really show a lot of things that amateurs do quite often, especially playing against a pro team. They're just going to pick you apart, and that's exactly what AR's done.
Now, if you are Coach TP right here, getting ready for CTF, you've seen 2 games from your Isolation Empire squad. What do you tell this team to get them back in it?
So we got Ascend CTF, right? And you need to notice how AR is playing. You see Burns is literally just playing with so much confidence, fighting every gunfight, dashing into unfavorable situations and still winning the gunfight.
Yeah.
You need to punish for that. If Burns starts to get shut down, he's that first player. That's who you need to start with. You can't just let Burns push into your base, get these easy flags out, play a little bit slower, and get some kills on the board. Start shooting your guns, stack up together, and as soon as they start doing that, they're going to be able to execute the strats that they've gone over. But this, as of this series, they just haven't been able to do anything. AR is able to just outclass them, and then they just lose composure and stop doing anything.
Now, Silly, he's shown some success with the IMR in the previous games.
Right.
Is this a map you could see that weapon used, or is it all going to be the ASM1 bow play?
I think it's just a little bit too slow to use an IMR on CTF, to be honest. We see Silly is sort of been the star on this team in this series. They're down 0-2, but he's the player that's been at least keeping up with AR on the scoreboard. We see him pulling out the ASM1 to try and put some pressure, but Burns and BFlyer once again opening up the scoreboard with the kills, being just so aggressive on the map. Enzo trying to hold them back. Yeah,
Enzo pulling out the bow for Ascend. So many long lines of sight. Unfortunately, he is going to be met by Anticity on the other side. Very defensive play so far from AR. It looks like they're going to protect their base and just send one sneaker. This time it's going to be BLFire going for a cap, and you saw as the map was loading up, BLFire accounts for 37% of the caps for AR throughout Season 1.
Nice movement there from BLFire, baiting himself with the flag, able to turn back and catch that player dashing.
That's
nice.
A TP move, man.
It really did look like a TP move right there, to be honest. We're only a minute in, and BLFire looks like he's going to be able to easily cap this flag. Nice OBJ work from AR, and it seems like all the players on this team are able to switch into that mode at any time, and that's why they have been a lot more consistent. They have just a well-rounded squad. We saw on the hard point, they're all dropping the same amount of kills, doing the same sort of roles on the map besides the AR players.
Yeah.
But it's just been a good balance. BLFire trying to catch that flag player, and looks like Nelson's able to sneak out with that one for using the down low path, but he's getting chased extremely quickly. Burns and Anticity able to push up. 3 control of their maze base, and another flag getting countered out here for AR.
Yeah, Burns was able to chase it down, just some sloppy movement. Otherwise, Nelson could have had that home. Burns trying now to punish, gets the flag halfway back. You're going to see BLFire trying to rotate over and keep it alive. Nice kill there. Has to beat one more player. Slide comes in, and he is going to get there a half-second late. Great return coming from Nelson, who also picks up the kill.
Nelson able to win that race that time. I would like to see him just go straight for that flag last time, though. There's really no reason for him to cut back and try and juke around when there's 3 players just chasing you from behind. So if anything, just slide dashing, trying to cap that flag with a slam was probably the better play. But let's see if ISO will be able to recover going down so early into this map.
You can see the strategy. Anticity, just stay home with the bow, let BLFire pull the flag, and then it's on Wheats and Burns to get him home. Silly's going to go for a pull as well, so both flags are out. And we'll see who is able to get the return first. It looks like the attack is coming in from Anticity. Will he be able to get it? There's one more player inside, and he gets cut down. So BLFire still sitting back in his base. Finally will be chased home, and the flags will be returned for AR. Now it looks like the score coming in from Burns. One player to beat. Great cover from Wheats.
Yeah, AR is on the worst side, I would say, on this map as well. So it's been a very good job of them to get a 2-cap lead already. They need to not get overzealous, though, and start blocking these spawns. We see BLFire OEing, overextending through to the tunnels to get control, and we just see it over and over again. ISO starts to spread out. They stop watching the weak side of the map, and now AR is just going to punish them. I wouldn't be surprised if we end this side at 4-0.
BLFire 4-4 so far. Only 8 interactions. He has that many flag grabs. It seems Burns, though, going to carry this one home. After accidentally killing BLFire, he's going to turn it in. So So far, they've gone for, I think, 4 attempts. 3 of them have been converted successfully.
Yeah, Burns trying to pad his OBJ stats a little bit there, killing his teammate and then capping it so he can have the most caps on the squad. Nice defense there, able to rotate back to his base. Notice that the other team is pushing up that elevators or light side, whatever you want to call it, due to the spawn that he got at the back left.
Anticity, farthest pushed up on the map I've seen from him. Outside of that 1 return attempt, he's going to go for a grab potentially with the Bal, though. Might just set up and wait for the kills to come to him. Nelson knows where he's at, clears the way for Enzo. Enzo, though, taking quite a while coming through these tunnels, checking every corner on his way home. Just does not feel confident in his team's coverage, and there's the reason why. Balefire sneaks in, but Enzo will be able to tack one on the board. 3-1, just trailing by 2 now.
Yeah, nice teamwork there from ISO to get that flag on the board, but they are on the good side. They really need to try and get one more. And you just see the pace of the flag runs is so much slower for ISO, and we see it again. Weeks is able to just easily get to their base, pull it out. There's one player there to contest, almost getting turned on, it looks like. Nice movement and jukes from Weeds to get that cap, but you see just the pace of the flag runs going by is the difference in this game for me. ISO did get that flag on the board, but it seemed like it took them so dang long. They had the cutoffs, the flag guy was just not confident, like you said, and it took that much longer. Every second that you wait, it puts that much more pressure on your teammates to hold the spawns, hold the cutoffs, and that's why they're easily just able to counter that.
I'm nervous about my predictions for later in the tournament. AR is looking so good in this CTF. They're not just out shooting their opponents, they're outclassing them with teamwork. Balefire, there's another great example as we take a look at the squad at halftime. They gotta be feeling good, up 4-1 with just 5 minutes to go here in this match.
Yeah, and now they're moving over to the better side. And the reason I call it the better side is you're able to manipulate those spawns much easier. It's more dependent on where you are on the map besides them. So let's say you want to push up that light side. That means they're going to spawn up at tunnels or back right, depending on where your teammates are set up. So it's much easier to get those clean flags out. You have underground to go to get more cover for your flag guy, where the other team is spawning wherever you want them to.
Burns on your screen off the break. Going to be charging right into the tunnels, and he is going to be watching his teammates fight the battles in mid, trying to rotate over to help out. Anticity slowing him down. Burns is going to pick one. Not done yet. Knows they need to rotate back. And honestly, I thought he had an opportunity to just go back for the flag. Instead, they want to keep their 3-point advantage, happy with that lead.
Yeah, I kind of like that play there from Burns. It's definitely a conservative one, but you do that just to make sure that if your teammates spawn up at the front side of the tunnels, if your teammates spawn there, you pretty much have no chance to play defense on their base. They did end up getting that better spawn closer to their side, but still a heads-up play from Burns, making sure that no stupid flags get away from their base, and now they're able to just normalize the map.
Wheats pressing up, gets chased down. That flag will be returned. Burns now on your screen just waiting for the return, and it's not going to come through. In fact, Balefire was able to sneak over and pick it up. On the opposite end, we had a pull from Enzo, instantly shut down by Wheats. Great job again on defense from AR, and now Burns is getting aggressive on the objective side.
You just see how confident he was. He's trying to shoot a player across the map at the middle with the ASM-1 when he's top gold, and instead of just pulling the flag. And you just see, if Burns keeps playing with this confidence, this team is going to keep doing extremely well. You really get benefited for playing this confident and this aggressive in Advanced Warfare, and it's just proving itself time and time again. If you do aggressive, decisive things as a team, it's going to work out.
Does this game play better in Burns' favor than Ghost, or did Burns just get much better as an individual player?
I think he's just gotten a lot better, to be honest. But definitely the aggressive nature of this game suits a lot of players like Burns, where you're able to, we like to call it the maniac style of play. Some players can have success playing that fast, whereas other players that play a more traditional style of like the old Call of Duties might struggle a little bit. So it's just a nice transitional period, but it's definitely paid off for Burns.
Balefire was looking to clean up some kills, but no one was pushing for it. The flag got home without taking a single bullet as Burns puts another one in. That is his third cap. 2 of those really belong to Balefire, though. If you've been watching the game, he is the one constantly putting pressure. This time, it's Wheats, and Wheats is running along this yellow catwalk. What's the strategy here?
He's trying to do a fancy jump there. Not much strategy, it looks like, as he just falls off the map. Trying to grind on a rail or something. Not sure what was going on with Wheats, but just constant flag pulls going on. Another stalemate situations, but Burns is already chasing and getting that return. Looks like both flags are back in the base now, and we see ISO is just spawning up everywhere. We see one player on AR always in the back of the base, which means the ISO team is going to spawn up either in tunnels or at the front elevators. We see them all using that COD vision there at the middle of the map, and that's why these stalemate situations are happening. Looks like AR is on a little bit of cruise control. They don't really care where the other team is spawning. They're just completely outslaying them. We see Anticity 28 and 15 just having an easy time padding his KD almost at that 2.0 as Burns just runs in another flag, getting so many flags on the board already. He has 4 just by himself, and now he's just hanging out in the back right corner because this game is pretty much over. Only a minute and 40 left for ISO, and they need a flag pretty much 5 seconds ago if they want to change.
I've been showing the objectives, but it's time to show the Slayer. Anticity, the defender, now working on the aggressive end, is going to try and help get this pull once again. Wheats taking it low, trying his fancy jumps, just haven't been working as this route has been shut down multiple times. But Anticity, really impressive stuff with his battle throughout this series. He's really the defender, the guy who hangs back, and 31-15 on a 6th streak now, trying to add a cap to his scoreboard.
Yeah, he seems to be playing this map very, very similar to how Clayster does it for Denial. He sits at that top gold, on those top green crates, on the top bridge, and just gets those easy gunfights for him, creating these situations where he's going to have a high KD as long as you're hitting your shots, and it looks like he is. He's pretty much just destroying everyone, has the flag in his hand, and it doesn't matter. He's still on an 8 streak, able to just run wherever. Still, he's able to trying to shoot back at him, but he just gets instantly melted. And now it's just padding your stats at this point. Wheats on the other flag, just waiting for the relay. Looks like he's going to try and do this down low on the rail jump once again. See if he can do it this time.
Oh! Fail
once again. Wheats, you're not impressive. Stop trying to do it.
Yeah, you might want to warm up with that jump before you try and bring it up against your round 2 opponent. Enzo going to try and tack on one more flag. They got one early on in the first half. Since then, it's been total domination. Ameli's coming out for Burns again. BL Fire not stopping, continues to surge forward and cause problems. What a series from AR. The hot 3-0 as the sweeps continue here on the main stage.
Yeah, just making sure that they just get that initial quick control on the map, pick ISO apart, and we saw ISO just pretty much abandon strategy. They were spawning all over the place. Wheats was able to just keep pulling out that flag down low. 4 caps for Burns there, able to just pull it wherever he wanted to, just playing extremely aggressive while they had Anticity just post up, be pre-aimed in, get that 2.0 KD, and just hold their top base over and over again.
It's pretty crazy coming into the tournament. Benson and I were talking, and outside of XGN versus Echo, that's the 16 and 17 seed, we thought this AR versus Isolation Empire would be the 2nd closest match in round 1. AR proving that is not the case. They are definitely a contender here this weekend, as well as a team that is going to be gunning for that top spot at the $1 million tournament. But Teep, I got to thank you for casting with me, my friend.
Buddy.
We are done. Let's send it down to the floor with our analyst to talk about that last matchup.
Thanks, Chris. Joined by, of course, Rambo down on the analyst desk. That game, another 3-0. Man, I'm getting kind of disappointed. I want to see some close games.
3-0s are not fun.
I know.
I mean, some of them are close and they're somewhat exciting, but this one sadly wasn't. The first game, I mean, we saw Burns come out hot. A lot of good talk and good vibes around Burns right now. He went +9 first game. Their team as a whole went +18. So this is like the closest slang-wise we've seen of a hard point.
Okay.
It was only like a 57-point deficit. It wasn't that big of a loss. To be fair, AR kind of had it locked down after the 3rd and 4th hill in the 2nd rotation. They had like an 80-point lead. So I mean, at that point it was kind of over. Going to the last hard points, I guess they gave him a little leeway. But then going into the search and destroy, we saw a little bit of like kind of redundancy at the start of the game. But then AR just took off and started playing as a team. It's just really like the big thing for ISO here is really the fact that they were so spread. And even in CTF, like they kind of said, they started spawning everywhere. They kind of abandoned all strategy. It's kind of what they did in all game types. It seemed like, besides the hard point, it almost seems like they kind of gave up on themselves, which is kind of, I mean, it's kind of sad to see at a certain sense. Yeah, they weren't doing that bad slang-wise, but it's just, I mean, they were close, but then again, they weren't close. So, I mean, it was all around. It was an all right game. It wasn't too bad, but definitely AR looking very strong right now, and if they can keep playing the same way, I definitely see them qualifying.
Another 3-0. Of course, AR are going to play Prof, though, Ray.
Right, but
finally some close games.
But Prof lost the map to Guru, which I honestly, no
Yes.
offense to Guru, I'm not entirely sure who's the players on his teams, but we were hearing a lot of talk and saying that Prof was kind of looking shaky. Prof coming into this event is kind of like almost like a pickup team in a way.
Right.
So they have Mochila and Classic, which are two players that were on different teams during the league season. So they not necessarily don't mesh. Maybe it's not the ideal team situation for all of them. It's kind of something they had to put together last minute for the event. So you just never know how that's going to go. And again, like you said, it could be a close game, but at the same time, we can see another 3-0.
Don't
we
be
just
like that.
Okay, we'll see a 3-1 at least.
Thank you. There you
Sorry,
go.
fans. We'll see a 3-1.
3-1 at least.
Right, okay, 3-1.
Give me a 3-1. I'll be happy. I just don't
I
want
mean,
to
that's what I said about this game. I was like, this is the game where someone's going to beat someone and someone's going to have to beat someone else again. And there's going to be something going on back and forth, but
it just didn't happen.
yeah, I guess I jinxed it.
I feel like you're getting like upset that everything's 3-0. You hate 3-0.
I like close games.
Everyone loves close games. If you're a fan of Cody Sports,
I'm not playing anymore. When I played, I hated close games, to be fair. Like, if you're playing, you're like 3-0, yes! No stress. But, yeah, and at this point, when you're watching, it's like, come on. Oh, lose that map. Oh, yeah, make it interesting. But, I mean, it sucks for the players, but at the same time, for us people that are watching, it's great.
No, it's awesome.
We
do love some
Unless you really want a team to win, then you obviously 3-0 is fine with you, but yeah.
Is TKSB, is that the game on
I believe that's what's coming next. So,
all right, that.
So if we get another 3-0, I'm just going to walk out of here, and I'll let someone else do the analyst stuff, because I'm clearly a jinx.
Please don't do that.
I'm on be.
We just got you
I'll
back.
be fair. I won't do it.
Good.
All right. Basically, yeah. Hopefully that's gonna be a good game. I mean, like we talked a bit earlier with X, it should be a great matchup in the way where SB has these strategies that TK are gonna have to counter, and I'm really interested to see how that's gonna work on the first hard point, especially because that's where SB shined early with their really unorthodox strategy that worked out, and nobody was like. Everyone on board, I was like, oh god, what's going on? And we're just getting outplayed. We can't do credit. And blah. So
it's interesting because I asked Killa because I see Thermal, I see Ameli, I see Smokes. You think Fizzup, and then I think Killa's a guy who I've seen mess around with some of that stuff. I was like, all right, how do you counter this? He was like, well, realistically, you run one yourself. Yeah. And then I remember I asked you as soon as I sat down, you're like, yeah, you kind of just have to run one yourself. So TK may have to kind of take it.
And that's really hard to ask from a team that hasn't done it before, though. Like, you're basically like, who's going to run that melee thing? Who's going to run smoke? How do we do this against them? Like kind of like we were saying earlier, talking about the counter, we basically had the point where you can use cold-blooded, but if you run cold-blooded, then basically you're just kind of running into smokes battles and nobody sees anything. It's like, hey, look, who's going to win this gunfight? We had no idea. Nobody can see anyone.
It's 50-50.
So, yeah, and that's very hard to go into a game with that mindset. So, like, then again, like you said, the best way to counter it probably is to run one yourself, but how is that going to go? Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. For now, though, quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll have Maven with an interview.